say your name, but you're not around. I need.
Yeah, and one of those is Callum Hudson-Odoi. I know you've said in the past he needs to perform consistently to turn that corner. Just a couple of questions on him, really. Do you think he's now heading in the right direction? And on the England front, if he's not being selected in the England team, would you advise him to play in the under-21s? What's your view on that?
I did not get involved into this discussion. I know that it was a discussion between the Federation, of course, and Callum, and then it ended up, if I'm correctly informed, ended up with Peter Cech being in this discussion. I think with the Federation, I was happy about that. I had no interest to get involved and to know the exact reasons why is that. You know, it has also, if Callum is here, we have full control of what he's doing. We have full control about his load and about also his focus and his approach to his game. So it's also a good thing when we are in charge here about him. He is clearly on the right way. You can see it in the matches. You can see how effective he is, and I feel him very focused. He waited a long time for these chances. Now they arrived, and the best reaction from him is to keep on going and to show the consistency that we need in the moment for him, and it's in a good way.
Hi Thomas.
Hi.
Just on Callum, I appreciate that you weren't involved in his decision, and so I'm not going to ask you to go into details of that.
Callum, a decision of international call-up, Nick?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. But Trevor Sinclair, the former England player, suggested it was arrogant not to join up, and I just wondered what your thoughts were on that, because I'm judging by everything you said that you're seeing Callum as somebody who's working very hard to just be as good as he can be.
I can understand if people don't understand it or if they don't like it. I don't give too much on judgments from outside. First of all, I don't read them, and I hear them when you mention them. And I think that Callum is very aware that if he takes a decision like this, not everybody will be happy about this decision. But you should ask Callum about it, and he probably has a good reason why he's not joining, or why he thinks that in this moment for him personally it's better to stay and to be here in training and fight for his place. So I think it's easy to judge from outside. We should hear both sides. If you want this case to be solved, you should hear both sides. I am actually not involved, and I'm happy, because I think it's not necessary that I get involved. I'm not here to convince players to join where they don't genuinely feel that they want to join. So we do the best out of this situation, and if there are consequences, I'm sure that Callum takes the consequences, because he's a young adult, and that's it for me.
I'm glad you brought up Hudson-Odoi, because this is one I can't get my head around. Southgate addressed this as well, and on Hudson-Odoi, he spoke about the player choosing to reject the call-up for England's under-21s.
It is difficult if you're a young player, you've been with the senior team. He went back and played with the under-21s in the last cycle, and then to go again a second cycle, I could understand is a difficult challenge. So we would still like him to do that, but he wants to back himself with his Chelsea form to get back into the seniors, and I totally respect that. So by not being in the under-21s, he misses a bit of an opportunity to impress us and to be able to come across if we need players for training and those sorts of things. He's had a couple of good matches for Chelsea. I know Thomas is guarded about how much he goes with the praise on that, but it's good to see him back playing and playing, more regularly at first team level. And he knows the challenge that's ahead, but he knows also that we're constantly watching him, and he's young enough to be, and talented enough to mount a serious challenge as we move forward.
See, I think Southgate's fair in that, Simon. But again, you're not having this, because what he is saying is, by snubbing the under-21s, he's knocking himself out of the picture.
I mean, I think, don't get me wrong, I think Gareth Southgate is a very eloquent and articulate football manager who operates in a very statesmanlike way and has done a great job of bringing the England team closer to the media and subsequently closer to the fans. But when I look at players, I mean, it worked very well for David Bentley, didn't it? He turned around saying he didn't want to pay for the 21s. This feels to me that Gareth Southgate sometimes wants to be everything to everyone. And unfortunately, in a position of authority, you can't be. You will decide. When he was a 21s manager, I'm sure he wouldn't have been as relaxed about the situation when a player decides he doesn't want to pay for the 21s. I think he might have had a different attitude towards it entirely. But you, as the England manager and the under-21 manager, will decide which framework that player goes into and when he's ready to go into the next framework. And if someone's fool enough to tell that they don't think that that's right, then they must be prepared to suffer the consequences for that, because it exhibits a certain disposition and attitude that isn't becoming of a player. We all understand that players have a right to express their views. We all have a right to say that players are intelligent enough to understand where they think they really are. But when you're coming to being selected for, that's okay at domestic level. When you're playing for your country, it becomes a different dynamic. And I just think that there's an element of ill-advisedness about the stance that Hudson Odoi has taken.
100%. But I can detect in Gareth Southgate's voice that it's going to go against Hudson Odoi.
Did you?
100%.
Okay.
It's going to go against him. He's making it more difficult for himself to get back. He's only just got in the Chelsea team. And
but is Hudson Odoi not backing himself longer term to do a better and bigger job for England?
I think it's about him towing the line. I think Absolutely. It's about this is an amazing opportunity for him to maybe have got back into the 21s. I know he doesn't see it. That's an ego issue, isn't it? When you have to take, we all have to take.
There's one of the listeners, Carl. Look, Hudson Odoi right. He needs proper football for his own level. Under 21's too far below his capabilities.
Well, you could say that. You could say that about some of the others that are in there. Gallagher's been brilliant this season. Does well for England. You've got Smith Rowe, who's got a case that he should be in the full England team. For what? Why has he been overlooked? I don't really know. But it's nice to have that conveyor belt. But actually, Gareth Southgate now is picking from more English players in the Premier League. We've got 41% of the players now are English. So the pool of players to pick from is way bigger. So the likes of Hudson Odoi, they might not get chances again if they don't want to pick up the pieces with the 21s, because he's building his international career. He's doing it under the umbrella of Southgate, and now he's turned his back on it. He's only going to make it more difficult for himself in the future.
Playing for England, everything for you. Was that the ultimate? I mean, I know pulling on the Arsenal jersey was pretty
it's an honour.
Good.
It's an absolute honour, and then to captain my country, which I managed to do once, was probably even bigger because of the responsibility that comes with it. But yeah, playing at Wembley in an England game was a big deal.
I'll bet.
When they obviously gave me the cool opportunity to come, there was something that obviously is international. You're in the country already. Something that I already had my mindset on playing and already playing for England. So it was a thing where obviously choosing Ghana or England, at the end of the day, I said that I always have the right people behind me who would always advise me on what's right and what's wrong. So England came and I said, yeah, let me go and play for my country in national. But I said Ghana's my home as well. So we will see. We never know. So we'll see.